All right, let's get ready for winter. All right, I got this snowblower here. I told you I picked this up on Craigslist for 75 bucks. He said that it clicks while in drive. Um, yeah, he started it up for me and ran it, and yeah, it did click. It was kind of concerning, but I did it anyway. It's just a machine. It's just a thing. We can figure it out. We can get it fixed. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start it up. Show you what we're talking about here. All right, got it out. If you're unaware, let's see here. Here's the key. It doesn't turn. It just pushes in. Here's choke. Turn that on. Give it some gas. Prime it. Yeah, we should check the oil too while we're at it. Beautiful. Got some go juice in there. All right, let's give her hell. All right, so we got to get underneath this thing to get to the transmission, which is back here under this plate. So we're gonna flip it up on its auger, and so we can get to it. Really nothing to worry about. Just make sure your gas cap is on tight, oil cap is on tight. I'd probably shut the fuel off, not that it matters. All the oils that's in the engine is gonna drain up to places it shouldn't be right now. But just don't start it afterwards. Let it drain back down when we're done. And it's not gonna be an issue. There. All right, got these 6 bolts out. What do we have here? Oh yeah. All right. See what I see? This is interesting. What this is the friction disc. This is belt driven off of the engine directly. So when the engine's running, this is spinning at all times. And this here, this is called the friction wheel. It does not make contact right now, but when you hit your lever, it moves this friction wheel up into the friction disc, which turns that shaft, which turns this gear, which turns that shaft, which turns the wheels. It's pretty ingenious. So as this engine spins, this is turning in one direction. It's only going to go one direction. And this is how we can get different forward speeds and reverse speeds by shifting this friction wheel onto where it sits on this disc. I'm assuming, let's see here, the further out, the faster this is going to spin. Well, it's spinning at one speed, but the outside diameter is spinning faster than the inside diameter. So if this is making contact on the outside, you get high gear. As this moves over, you can actually see where it's riding. Here, 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 here. You get high gear, probably 5th, 4th, 3rd, second, first, reverse 1, reverse 2. I'll show you that here. It's this linkage. Here's the linkage for the lever to change gears. So here's high gear. I'll show you what's going on here. This is all gonna link and pin together and lever. You'll see this thing move as I move this from high, low to reverse. So there's 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, reverse 1, reverse 2. Pretty smart, pretty ingenious. I wonder if this is the common practice of driving a snowblower. But regardless, this is what we have to deal with. And if you can see, yeah, it's cracked, no big deal. There's some rubber on here, but oh, look at that. It is completely worn out. It's got a flat spot in it. And that, I believe, is our clicking noise. So this is going along, click, good, 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 click, click, click. So this is our culprit. This is what we got to replace. And lucky me, I have one. Ta-da! Got this on Amazon for 12 bucks. It's a wheel friction. It's the friction wheel here. Hopefully it's the right size. And we're gonna take it apart, put it in, and see how it goes. Alright, how the heck are we gonna get this out of here? We gotta get this shaft off. This is gonna slide right off the shaft. Can't go this way because there's a roll pin pressed in there. Don't feel like dealing with that. So this is gonna go that way. This shaft is held in by a couple bearings on each side. There's one. There's one. I'm just gonna take this little nut off. Try and slide the shaft that way. Slide this off. These wheels might be getting in the way. Let's just take those off real quick. Ooh, that came out nice. Oh yeah. All right, this is a 14 millimeter or a 9/16, and I've been able to get a 25 on here. Washer and nut, put that somewhere safe. I need a little persuasion. Let me put that nut back on there so I can give her a whack without messing up the threads. Oh yeah! Huh. All right, sir. Little bearing feels pretty good. It's not dry. That's the important thing. Oh, fuck. Might as well take this one off too. Oh, okay. I didn't want that. Everybody just calm down. These are little brass bushings here that the wheels ride on. There's no wheel bearings. It's just that bushing. There's not a lot of play. Got a lot of play in that. Oh well, 75 bucks. What can you do? Okay, Mr. Shaft comes out. before we take it apart. This little alignment dowel here is holding this in place. So let's just make sure that goes back in. I'm gonna take this. Nah, I'll leave that on. Alrighty. Aha. See where that flat spot is? Beautiful. I don't know how that happens. Probably started just like this. It cracks over time. It's about 10 years old. Alright. So it looks like these two steel plates sandwich this together. Let's take a look at the new part. Ooh, man, that should work beautifully. All right, let's take these 3 bolts off and those 3 bolts. See what we got here. Oops. Here, whatever. Got these bolts out here. Use a 3/8 wrench. Take off 3 on this side. You're gonna need a wrench on this side. Can't really get to it with a socket. When they're all out, take your little knot pry bar, and when the snap-on guy is not looking, pry this off. There you go. And it looks like it's just totally oh man, it's just peeling in 2. Maybe it's supposed to be like that, but it's not supposed to be like that. Let's get the new one out, see how she fits. Yeah, not supposed to be like that. Oh yes. All right, so you got 3 threads on this one, 3 threads on that one. Make sure they're not the same, or you're gonna get nowhere. That should work. Make sure it's centered in there. Put the bolts back in. And we'll start putting it back together. I got these 6 bolts all tightened back up. Looks really good. She's tight in there. Looks a little out of round. That's just because I wouldn't worry about that. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going that fast. We're not doing highway speeds. Shouldn't have to worry too much about any vibrations. It's just a snowblower. But we'll get it going here. All right. Do you remember how to put this back together? All right. Put the shaft back in. Put the bearing back on that side. Looking. Oh yeah. Oops. You guys like beer? If you do, let me know if you got any good recommendations for a good Wisconsin beer. I always love trying new stuff. I've tried plenty in my life already, but always up for suggestions. All right, I'm gonna tighten this bolt and throw the wheels back on. Let me show you one more thing here. When I first got this axle was riding out like that. Can you see that? The bushing wasn't riding in the hole. And I thought that was so weird. Obviously it's not right. So after looking at it just for a little bit, I realized what it was. And this guy, notice there's 2 holes there. They're there for a reason. Now, reason is when you want these wheels to be locked so they both drive, you put the pin through this hole. So the actual wheel is locked to the shaft. They turn together. When you don't, when you just want one wheel to drive, the snowblower, to ease in turning and whatnot, you put it there. So the wheel can spin independent from the shaft. And the driven wheel is only going to be the left one, not this one. What this guy did, he had this to the outside. Which locks it in place, but that creates the gap. You can actually see right where that shaft is riding on the housing. So don't be like that guy. It's made to go on the inside. Always, whether you put the pin on the inside or not. Just a little word of wisdom for you. All right. Let's tighten up that shaft. And I'll throw this other wheel on. Got it all back together here. And just so you know, if you try and buy parts directly from MTD, they're going to want to sell you this whole assembly, not just this friction disc, or this friction wheel. They're going to want to sell you this with that whole clamp, assembly, and bearing. And that's about $100, I think. I'll leave a part number in the description of this. This is all you need, $12. Get that fixed for you. All right, all I did was tighten this cover up, these 6 screws. Set her down. After letting it sit for a little bit, let all the oil drain down. Got her running again. Test her out. High gear. All right, back at the home base here. Thing runs great. It doesn't click, doesn't hiccup. It just runs. Yeah, I wish this was a little bit more of an expensive model. It would be nice to have a throttle adjustment right up here, but it's just a quick bend over. Not a big deal. Don't forget to turn your gas off, and yeah, that's how we fix a clicking issue with these snowblowers. Wow. Looks like that bushing really does need to be replaced. Yeah, 75 bucks, how can you beat it? Well, till the next thing breaks. Here's a quick sneak preview. Yeah, 15 bucks on Craigslist. I don't know what was in it. It doesn't smell bad. Turn this into a burn barrel.